Does the fact that they run the no-huddle offense, from a, I guess, conditioning standpoint, is that a concern going in at all, or you feel like you got the depth to really withstand that?
It's something that you have to prepare for. And one of the things that we've done for all of our bowl practices, we started the practices off early with the ones versus ones and going, entirely no huddle as fast as we could call the plays. Doing a lot of empty sets and throwing the ball quite a bit to try to simulate what we think that our defense is going to see in the bowl game. And we've done that every day and spent some time with that. And I think that'll help us get acclimated and prepare us for their no huddle offense and for their spread attack. So we've worked on it. We've got a plan and we've done that before and it's worked in the past. So we feel good about that part of it.
How long has your game plan been in, or are you still in the process of putting it in?
Really, today, it's game week now,
right,
and it's Tuesday of game week. A couple days ago, we also had Tuesday of game week, and we had the game plan in that day and practiced it some and polished it up and executed it some. We've already done a Wednesday of game week a couple days ago, so today was our second shot at doing a Tuesday's practice. So we had the game plan that we normally have installed in by Tuesday and expected to be able to execute that a little bit better because it's our second Tuesday practice today and tomorrow will be our second Wednesday practice, and most of that stuff has already been installed and we've had a chance to execute it some at practice, and tomorrow will be our second shot at it. So I would anticipate us coming out tomorrow and doing really well for a Wednesday's practice because we've practiced it before already. So I think it's going really good. The game plan's been in for a while. We're going to try to keep it simple so we have a chance to execute and do well.
When you get up there in practice, kind of what will be the goal? Just get acclimated to the place and just run through some plays, or do you have something different in mind when you get up there in practice?
We're going to do the same thing that we always do on a Thursday practice and the same thing that we always do on a Wednesday's practice. A Friday's practice. We're just going to do that in Detroit. Obviously, being at the site of the game will be good for us to get a feel for the surface, the footing, and get acclimated where the 40-second clock is at and everything that's important to the game. But we normally do not practice at the opponent's site when we travel and play away games. This will be an advantage in some ways for us to get a chance to be on that surface and be inside that facility. But we'll do the same thing we always do on Thursday and the same things that we always do on Friday.
I think you said at the start of bowl practices you might use some of these practices to look at some other guys you might want to play in the game that maybe weren't playing as much at the end of the regular season. Did you anticipate playing anybody else in the bowl game that perhaps wasn't playing as much at the end?
Well, I think the fact that we're facing a spread offense and we're going to probably play some nickel and dime personnel on the defensive side of the ball has put some new faces on the field, or some guys that have played some on the field more. Taylor Richards could play a lot more in the ball game as a result of it. Landon Feitner could play a lot more in the bowl game as a result of the style of offense that they run and the personnel that they have on the field. We've had some great practice reps with the twos versus twos, and some guys have stepped up some. I think Kevin Panfile understands his position a lot better now. We played him some in the Wisconsin game when the score got lopsided and he hadn't been on offense very long. He's been over there for a while now, and he could play more in the game and I think help us significantly. I also feel the same way with Justin Kitchens. He was starting earlier in the season, and he got injured, and Trevor Foy's played most of the reps at right tackle in the last 2 or 3 games, and I think Justin Kitchens could play in the games more. Obviously, all the reps that the young ball carriers have gotten with Ralph being out and Cottom being out, Akeem Hunt and Reggie Pegram, those guys will play more in the games. I like what I've seen out of Mike Lee and Joe Gilliam. I think they've done a good job, and they could play more in the game here in the next several days when we play the bowl game. So some guys have definitely stepped up that can help us. Some of it has been by opportunities they've taken advantage of out here on the practice fields, and some of it has been as a result of injuries or maybe personnel that we need to have in this particular